Hello there, and welcome to our sermon recap for this week. We are in the middle of a sermon series on the Exodus story, where the children of Israel are led out of bondage in Egypt to the promised land. And we are in part 3. Last week we talked about Jehovah God appearing to Moses in the burning bush and telling him or calling him to go and free the children of Israel from bondage, to confront Moses or to confront Pharaoh, and also to tell the children of Israel that he was sent by God. So usually we think, wow, Moses is so courageous, so brave to be able to go and do this thing. But there's actually a bunch of accounts in the story right after he's called to the burning bush where he doubts the Lord, or doubts his own abilities. Like, how can I possibly do this? So he doubts it 5 different times. And those are actually a picture of when we are immersed in sensual thinking or involved in external behaviors without a spiritual guide. We resist this call. So this is really about our own conflict when we're trying to do what's right. So Moses, being asked by God to do this, first reaction is, well, who am I? Who am I that I could go and confront Pharaoh or go convince the children of Israel that I have been called by you? One of the first things that we experience in our spiritual journey is who am I to be able to resist these temptations in my life? Or how can I break free from these bad behaviors I've tried? I have no success, or it's been difficult, it's been a struggle. So the sort of idea that this is too hard for me, and that's true, that's why we need the Lord's help. But our first reaction is, how can I possibly do this? How can I possibly break free? The second reaction is, Moses says, well, what is his name? Who is it that's sending me? And the question to ask ourselves is, how well do we actually know the Lord our God? Because the more we know somebody, the better we know them, the more faith or trust we can have in them. And so part of this is getting clear on how well we know the Lord. And if we don't know the Lord, trying to get to know the Lord better, because the more truth we can learn about the Lord, the more strength we can have. Like David going to battle against Goliath saying, the battle is the Lord's. I have trust that I will overcome because the Lord is with me. There's 3 large words that we use in the theology of the New Church to define God, which are omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. And what those words mean is the Lord has all power. The Lord has all knowledge. He knows everything about me. And the Lord is with me wherever I go. So if I can remember those things about the Lord, I can have more confidence that he will lead me, knowing that he's always there, he knows everything I need, and he has the power to help. The other thing is, well, what if, the other doubt Moses has is, well, what if they don't believe that you sent me? What if they doubt it? And that has a lot to do with our own attitude about things. What is our attitude towards the Lord? Do we trust, or do we look for the doubts rather than the affirmations? We're told that if we have a negative attitude, one doubt or one negative thing will throw off everything. But if we have a positive attitude, we can put those aside and say, well, I don't really understand this right now, but I trust in the Lord, and I'll believe the things I do know about him. The fourth resistance is, he says, well, I'm not eloquent. I don't know how to speak well. And so the Lord sends Aaron with him to speak for him. And Aaron represents actually doctrine from the truth of the word, that we actually need things to explain the truth. And sometimes we go to the word and say, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And so we look at the word and think it's confusing or too hard. And the Lord says, we actually need doctrine. We need that which teaches us how to apply it to our life. And I think we're living in a wonderful time where we can go to all sorts of sources. We can go listen to sermons, podcasts, YouTube videos. Off the Left Eye was a good example of that. Or New Christian Bible Study, that website. And we can get all kinds of explanations of what these truths mean, so we can get to know the Lord better. So it's a great time. You can have a sermon recap, for example. The 5th excuse is really just, hey, send someone else. I'm not up for this challenge. And this is one of those things that we can face too. It's like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And the Lord actually gets angry at Moses with this one. And the Lord is never angry. So that's really talking about the Lord's zeal or his passion for helping us. The Lord really wants us to live a happy life. And he's really calling us to just try. Please put in the effort. I will be with you. I will help you. So there's a little other part of the story which the Lord gives Moses these 3 signs, which are not really a symbol of the Lord's power, even though that's kind of what the literal story says, but they're really the kinds of things that happened in our own life if we don't actually try to live by the truth. So the rod, that rod of wood in Moses' hand, which he cast down and turned into a snake, pictures the truth as that rod. If we separate it from being usefulness, like cast it to the ground, it becomes a serpent. If it's separate from usefulness and it's really just about sensual things, we lose sight of what the truth is about, and it can be harmful to us. He's told to put his hand into his cloak, and when he pulls it out, it becomes leprous. When he puts it back in, it becomes clean again. That's a sign of, if we love what's true, have our hand in our heart, but we turn away from it and we stop living by it, that's actually very hurtful to us. But we can come back again, and the Lord can help us. The last thing is taking water and pouring it on the ground, and it becomes blood. Water is a symbol for truth. If we sort of discard the truth and have no concern for just casting it to the ground, it becomes falsified. It's hard for it to actually have been of use to us. There's a lot of details in these stories, but really what the Lord is saying to us in this is, look, I know you're going to have doubts. I know you're going to have worries about this, but I am with you wherever you go. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Thanks for being here. See you next time.